Have you had a tough time recently or in your life? Well, if you're human being, chances are you have. Today, I want to share a little bit about my recent tough experience going through a detox, right? And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then. And I just really want to share some lessons today of what I've learned. Maybe you can relate. Now, I've been doing like a physical detox, like things like no coffee, no alcohol, of course, no sugar, and yeah, generally like trying to reduce social media and things like that as well on the side because I'm going away and I'm traveling. Well, actually, the point of recording this just before I'm going away traveling, and it's going to be scheduled for when I just get back. And the detox was really tough because I had to cut out certain foods, and what I found is that like a lot of emotions would come up, and I realized how many times like distractions would come up, like, and therefore I'd look for like food, maybe go for a quick coffee. I'm reasonably pretty healthy. There's obviously always room for improvement, but like I've been doing things like going out and grabbing snacks and things like that, and I realized I couldn't do that anymore, and therefore I had to sit with the emotions. Now, ask yourself this: like, do you find yourself doing this? Because maybe you do as well, like distracting yourself with food, with coffee, whatever it is. Maybe it's just excessive scrolling on social media. Because as human beings, we try and get away from the negative emotions. The thing is, I found is that we can't experience truly the great emotions if we don't sit through some of the more challenging ones. And there's tools and ways to navigate that as well. So I want to just use this one today to share some of my learnings from going through the physical detox. And it's been like well over 2 weeks, right? So the first one is I would often try and get away from boredom, which is a kind of fear. Well, sometimes I get away from a fear of like, um, yeah, not wanting to have a certain conversation with someone or something like that. And therefore I'd go for a walk and I'd grab a coffee, but I couldn't do that. Like, so therefore I'd actually have, and the coffee can change your state as well and how you feel temporarily, although it can give you anxiety. I personally felt after it. So that's the first thing I discovered, that I realized how much I was trying to get away from boredom in particular, by like a coffee or foods or whatever it was. And not going out for a number of weeks and socializing with my friends and having drinks, I found myself sitting with myself a lot more and finding getting a little bit bored. Um, but it was okay. And when I started sitting with my thoughts, the second one is kind of just links on straight from that is I found I got better with managing my thoughts. Like there were some quite uncomfortable emotions, like things coming up from the past, like rejections and, you know, relationship stuff, job stuff, all sorts of things, or deaths and that I'd experienced. Obviously, not my own death, other people's deaths. And were quite like a grieving process. And actually, I started getting better at sitting with those after I had taken away all the distractions. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and they were saying like, I don't think we should strip ourselves of all the things, you know, we like. And I said, absolutely not. Of course not. Right. Now, obviously, if something's damaging your life and your health, yeah, maybe it's an opportunity to look at it. But no, I agree. I think, and then they realized they had like, or I think they had slightly misinterpreted what I was saying. I was just saying by going through this process when I'm stripping myself of a lot of things, um, it brought up quite a lot, and it can be quite a healthy process to do so, even though it's tough. And what I found is just sitting with myself in silence, I was able to maybe feel into like a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of fear, quite a lot of anger comes up for me. Um, which I'll do an episode on another time. And that allowed me to process my thoughts a lot more, but then more positive ones started emerging because I was actually allowing myself to connect with myself in that way. And then the third thing, more natural energy came back. I was able to feel like I didn't need coffee for like more energy. I was able to just feel more positive and be more lit up just by naturally eating the right foods. that weren't like processed or sugar. So what my guidance or my special point for you today would be is to not jump in if you're doing a detox or taking something away, not take away everything at once, maybe just cut something down or cut something out and make it more of a gradual process. Like I had to do a detox for a certain preparation for something. However, what I would suggest if you want to cut something out is then just focus on one thing at a time. Don't do too much at once because it can be a really tough process as well. So that's really what I wanted to share with you today, like going through quite like a tough detox process and what emotionally came up. It's okay to sit with your emotions and process them. In fact, I'd highly guide you to do so because again, I feel like I need to connect myself as a human being. I've done a lot of that in the last few years, and that's why I created this. But when I do it even more, it creates a lot more self-love and self-esteem and self-acceptance rather than just ignoring my negative emotions and then going for a coffee or whatever. Like through most of my 20s, it was going out drinking, right? Just like I wouldn't even process sort of like breakups and things like that. I would just go out like drinking with the guys like the weekend. However, when you take these things away, you can really start connecting yourself, even though it's uncomfortable at first. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives for being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.